Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be doing a collaboration with 10 other YouTubers, and for our collaboration video we will be making two of our favorite holiday recipes. So stick around and let's get started. The recipes that I'll be doing today are very easy and simple to make. And if you're like me and you have a lot of holiday cooking to do, it's very nice to have some of these simple recipes on hand that you can fix and whip up, and you're not going to sacrifice the flavor with these recipes. It's going to be just as good as if you worked real hard on them. So trust me, easy and good. So let's get started on this. My first recipe that I'll be making is a peanut butter pie. So I'm going to show you the ingredients that I'm going to be using. Some peanut butter, some Cool Whip, any brand will work, some confectioner sugar, some cream cheese, and a pie crust. So let's get started. Before we begin the recipe, I thought I would tell you real quickly the measurements for the ingredients that I'm going to make, and I will have the recipe down below in the description box. I will be using 1 cup of the confectioner sugar. The peanut butter, I usually just get a large tablespoon and get out 2 big heaping tablespoons, but it averages out to about half of a cup of peanut butter. I'll be using 1 large container of the Cool Whip and 1 8-ounce block of cream cheese. Now I've allowed this to set out for about 2 or 3 hours, and it has softened up, and it's easier to mix that way if you do that. If you don't, you're going to have a little harder time getting all your ingredients to combine and mix. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my cream cheese, my peanut butter, and the Cool Whip topping to the bowl. Now using my electric mixer, I'm just going to mix this up until everything's well combined. Okay, I have all my mixture well combined. Now I did taste this to see if it was peanut buttery enough, and I did add in an additional heaping tablespoon. So test your mixture to see if it's rich enough for you, and if you feel like you need to add more peanut butter, go ahead and throw it in there. Okay, I've got that all well mixed, so next I'm just going to add the confectioner sugar. And I'm going to use my mixer and finish combining the ingredients. Okay, I have my mixture well blended, so now I'm just going to scoop it over into my pie crust. Now for my second holiday recipe, I will be making a red velvet poke cake, and here are the ingredients I'll be using. I'll be using a box of this red velvet cake mix, 2 of the small packages of the cheesecake pudding, a small 8-ounce container of Cool Whip. I'll be using some crushed Oreos. Generic is fine. Generic works well for the Cool Whip too, and 4 cups of milk. Now, my first step is fixing this red velvet cake mix according to package directions. So I'm just going to go ahead and whip that up real quick, and once it gets done baking, I'll bring you back. And I'm going to allow this to cool for approximately 10 minutes after I remove it from the oven. So I'm not going to allow it to cool completely. So just for 10 minutes, and I'll bring you back then when that's finished. My cake is baked, and I've allowed it to set and cool for about 10 minutes. So for my next step, I'm going to use a wooden spoon, and I'm going to use the handle part, and I'm going to poke holes all over the top of this cake. And for now, I'm just going to set the cake aside. Now for my next step, I'm just going to empty my boxes of the cheesecake pudding mix into my bowl. And next I'm going to add 4 cups of milk. And using my mixer, I'm just going to mix this up till it's well combined. Okay, my mixture is well combined, so what I'm going to do from here is continue to mix it until it starts to thicken up just a little bit. Okay, my mixture is just slightly started to thicken up, and that's the way you want it. You don't want it to get very thick, because what we're going to do next is pour this cheesecake pudding mix over top of our cake. Okay, I evened that pudding mix out a little bit after I got it on there. So now the next step is to place this in the refrigerator for 2 hours, and that will allow that pudding mix to set up a little bit. So after 2 hours, I'll bring you back and we'll go on with the next step. My cake is chilled for 2 hours, so I'm ready to move on with my next step. And I will be spooning out 1 8-ounce bowl of Cool Whip onto the top of my cake. Now earlier I went ahead and I put about 10 of the Oreo cookies into this plastic bag, and I just used this little hammer and use that to break up the cookies into smaller pieces. So after I get the Cool Whip on the cake, then I'm just going to sprinkle the top with the Oreos. Now that I have my cake finished, I will just put a lid on it and stick it in the fridge until it's ready to serve. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope that you've enjoyed these recipes. Please be sure to watch the video to the end, and I will have the other channels listed and their links in the description box below. Until next time, guys, happy holidays.